Okay, thank you so much, Shelley, for having us on your show once again this year.
Oh, here we are.
All right, you know I'm just going to film a little bit. I won't film it all.
Do you need Megan to take any pictures?
Of course we do.
Do that now or after we're done?
What would you recommend? Can we have one that's in front of the mic?
Yes.
Probably can do
Let's
that now.
now because I'm
After school programs again.
I'm Jennifer Moss in the double on this Monday. Police say a third child has died.
It looks like you guys are working. This is great. You just love that.
Southern Michigan. Two children ages 6 and 2 years old died at the scene of Friday evening's crash.
Buck Creek
State
Run?
troopers said
The Buck Creek Run in the city of Granville.
Yes.
On June 29th, correct? Is that right? All right. Got it. It's on WGVU. How are they preparing for the future, which is going to be, I think, voice and people getting their information off of different platforms now and keeping up on all that? Because I see them as an opportunity for people that you have a great studio, but like somebody that doesn't know a lot about this and just trying getting out there. I mean, they're now attention grabbers if they could do, because you'd be surprised how many people do very well on doing that. But for yourself, how are you looking at the future saying, okay, we need to start putting these things in place because this is where our viewers, audience attention is going.
I have, thanks to producer Nate, we are out and there is now a Shelley's blog.
Oh, there you
So
go.
we featured Fountain Street Church and Grand Rapids Public Museum. So we're trying to do this once a week as much as possible, but a series format where let's find 10 places to visit. Let's find 10 events to post. Let's find 10 community members. So we're going to make this. So that's been the latest and that's YouTube only.
Oh, yeah.
So you won't see that on the TV. You won't see that in podcast or audible form, but this is
Got to be our subscribers.
Strictly subscriber.
Right.
for
And how is that
Shelley's
being
YouTube.
promoted? Is that like on the campuses? How are you getting that
it's,
message out?
Right now we're working on that. Right now
Okay.
it's mostly Shelley.
Shelley,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
doing shows like this, talking about it,
yes.
you can give us that information. We can
Yes,
give that,
that would
up
be
to
good. That's the latest.
Because that's the key. A lot of these platforms are free to put on, but it's
Yes.
to get the ads and getting into the get them to send it to the people that are actually looking, like maybe past viewers.
Right.
Maybe past students of
Yes.
Grand Valley. I'm like, oh my God, I remember. You know what I'm saying? You want, and
Plus
Facebook does a good job
And
of that.
plus those who are being interviewed. You trust that they will share.
Right.
The good
How do you
work that's
encourage
being-
that? Because that's big, I think.
Well, there's nothing like asking.
Right.
It would be great to share this. Obviously, I would tag that person, so that would fall into there, and you'd hope that share, that would be shared. But a lot of it comes down to relationships and hoping that works out.
Yeah, it's all changing, isn't it? It's going
It
rather
is.
fast, and people don't realize we have so much now on the social media platforms, and that people don't realize by just liking it, the algorithms
Yes.
that Facebook will keep it up. And so that's what I kind of like to tell people. It's like leave a comment, have your family share it. The more activity that's on the one interview, let's say you reached out to 10 of your friends,
Right.
to share it, right? And then
It keeps track of views and stuff.
and it'll keep it up on the feed, because with all the content that you maybe post, especially in your stuff too, it gets buried. But if I was interviewing Charlotte, I'd say, get on the horn, Charlotte, with your
there room for Charlotte on set?
for 10 of your friends, and she would do it too.
Yeah.
She'd be going, all right, and I need them to share it.
Yes.
But I had that
It is relationships.
Blues Jim, Dino, he had 25 shares on one of my posts that I did it like a little video. I was like thrilled. I'd be lucky.
It really means a lot.
It does mean a lot, because I knew that it kept it up in the feeds, which made the views more.
Yes.
Because and I know, you can't always be on social media when things are really posted. Sometimes it gets buried. And so we're bringing that up where you're going through maybe 3 or 4 sweeps. It's about all I do have time for.
And I try to go back, and I
Right.
do this a lot with my my nonprofits. I mean, I got my little book here. I have a list of all my nonprofits.
Yeah,
in here.
really, I've just,
but I may go through and say, okay, I'm going to go to I won't do it every day, but okay, today Cherry Health. I'm on Cherry Health Foundation's board. Okay, what have they posted? Okay, share that. So those are the little things.
You do that yourself,
Yes.
or you have?
I do that myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be the whole thing. I mean, I have an intern, but it's always somebody from Grand Valley or whatever.
Well,
so
that's
it's always
nice.
temporary.
And what a great opportunity for them.
But I
to
would
learn
just
from
say
you.
for Grand Valley, I would just have a kid assistant. That's all you're going to do
Yeah.
all day. It's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 hours a day. I want everything shared.
Yeah.
and I want you to go through, and these are the,
And post, you can have the posted by time and date, right? It doesn't
yeah.
have to- yeah.
I would just say that's all I would say. That it's your job.
Yeah.
It's supposed to do that
I
content.
might have to
but that would be
make that
worth
happen.
it.
Yes.
To get it out in the
because
platforms.
it is changing, and this is where it's
Right.
know.
Well, you need a different honestly, we're talking about stuff because we know. But you need a different caption for LinkedIn, more business.
Yes.
A different caption for Facebook. You need a different caption for Instagram. You're dealing with a lot more younger generation. So you
Yes.
need to change up that picture. Maybe a picture would show a younger group or them
Yes.
socializing like at an event.
Right.
But for moms,
interesting.
It's a whole different
Okay.
thing. And so
I'm learning from you.
You need to get a hold of Grand Valley, and you need to say, I need a student that does this every day,
Yes.
2 to 3 hours,
Because-
and share your content like crazy. Because you know what? Each, like this little thing like we're doing right now, I mean,
It's
this
bigger
is,
than a little thing.
it's bigger. Well, you know what I'm saying.
I
This
know.
interview, right?
Yes,
Not like
yes.
yours, but in moving, I'm trying my best. But this could be 40 posts on all the platforms.
Yes, because I'm going to
40
share it,
posts.
and I
you
can
know?
share it to my. I have a Shelley Irwin personality Facebook page, which I
Yes.
don't use as much. Ralphie has even Ralphie has his. I don't use Ralphie's as much. Where are you?
But the show is the base. The show
Yes,
is the
it
base.
is, Pamela.
The radio show is the base. All that is
Yeah.
the base, and then you go from there. You need the platform, right? This is the platform which to share
Mm-hmm. Thank
your content.
goodness we have a platform.
Yep, and then everything else has got to be shared on the platforms where you're going to reach different audiences and grab their attention.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's what you could use. You have access to all those students, man. I'd be like all over
Yeah,
it, man.
come
You
on,
did-
yeah.
yeah.
But it's only going to look good on their resume.
Well, exactly. And this is the future. What they're going to take information, and then your podcast, getting that out there. I mean, if you
Yes,
could just
and-
do, let people know that because people are listening in their cars.
Well, you
Yeah.
still can't deny radio itself.
It's
I mean,
voice.
for that person that tunes in between 9 to 11 as they drive to their work or wherever, there still is that I heard you on the radio.
Right. That's still
Feedback.
very popular.
Versus, I don't know how many people literally download the podcast I did and listen to it later on. And I'm not a big podcast listener at this point, so that's why.
Well, I was just telling that with Charlotte. I probably
wanna be.
do a lot more. Well, YouTube is my favorite go-to.
Okay.
But the podcast, the thing I'm just getting into, but it's going to be changing as we get as years
For the
down.
positive,
because
for the-
people will multitask. They don't have time
Yeah.
to sit in front of a computer like ourselves and
Right.
watch things on a
True.
visual. They're doing other things,
Yeah.
so they could.
Especially
When it becomes easier to do the podcast download. I think people are going to say, "Oh my gosh, I want to know what's going on with the Shelley Irwin show. What happened today?" And maybe because
Yes.
I've been on your show.
Yes.
We were friends. Or my mom's going to be on the show, and I'm going to download it, right? And that's how you want to kind of,
It becomes part of our lifestyle.
It is
you
our
know? I mean,
lifestyle.
you got to do something on the treadmill for an hour, right?
And if I was meeting up with you, if you're friends,
Yes.
I better listen to your show for the next, 5. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So I want to have a good conversation with you when I see you. I want
it's
to know
part
what
of-
you're doing,
it's-
but I may not be able to do it in the times that
Yes.
you're doing that, right? Because I do have a job. Like I tell people, I do
okay.
work.
You do have a day job.
My husband will say that. I do have a day job, Pam. I just can't be available for you all the time, right? But how are you liking? First of all, the change. But how are you liking? What was I going to say? How are you liking going out in the public and seeing people as possible guests?
I'm
or
always
networking? or-
It really is such that I don't want to say I guess I kind of always am on. It's not that I'm looking for guests, but I'm thinking that, especially at a where maybe I'm not the MC and I'm a guest at the West Michigan Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, was honored to be a guest of that, where I sat next to someone. It's like, you should come on my show. Blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. I oftentimes put it into, say, your basket. Email me. Here's my card. Email me, and then I'll wait for you to be that
Okay.
instigator. But
What do you do if have you ever had a bad guest?
I've had a bad guest if I have not asked the right questions. And to me, a bad guest is someone who answers. I did have someone recently with yes or no and doesn't expand. Now, obviously,
You're trying, right? You're working
I'm
your butt
trying.
off.
But if you word your question, tell me a little bit about yourself. They're not going to just say yes, But if I say, was this a great opportunity for you? And they say yes,
Okay.
then it was my fault that I did not word the question tell me about the opportunity that this has been for you instead of just setting myself up for.
Okay. I've not done that
right.
many to have really, but I've had a couple of them that weren't as exciting. So I'll have David. You got to help me make this look great.
Yeah.
You know, and I did. I brought it because you can bring in other pictures, things like that,
Yes.
to expand upon it.
Now, my interviews often, if I'm not familiar, I mean, there's an open, a middle, and a close. So I always spend a little time, you know, especially if a person's coming in that looks very nervous. We want to get you talking about you, because that, I think studies show that once we start talking about us, we chill out a little bit. And
Sure.
you know, so tell me a little bit about yourself, and then, how about your organization, you know, and we have to take care of our guests. And,
Sure.
and that's not, you might not see that on CNN or, you know, some of our big dogs.
Well, you want them to do well.
I don't want you to walk out saying, and it's frustrating when someone walks out and says, "Oh, I blew that." That is not a good day for me. If somebody walks out and says, "I just blew that," that would make me lose sleep. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that often.
But I always tell people, I want you to make me look fabulous, that I know you. So let's make this happen.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody wants to, you know,
Yes.
you're here for a reason.
Yes.
I think you're fabulous. Something you're doing is great.
Now this just happened, and I have to be prepared for this so that the person doesn't fail. Most, and this is a compliment, I mean, if you're a CEO, you have a lot to do, you're busy.
Right.
Most CEOs, a lot of medical professionals don't know their contact information. So I'll say, how do I find out more information? And they won't know their website. So I have to make sure that I have, you know, here it is. You know,
That's a good one.
JaneDoe.com is where you'll find out more about Jane Doe. Thank you, Jane, for being here. But I have to. But that has happened more than one time that your executives don't know their people. You know,
They don't know the date of the race. They're like,
Yes. Yeah. And again, it's not a slight against them.
No, they have a lot going on.
And you can see it sometimes, and we'll call them the handlers. That's not a bad name, but there's someone come in with them, and they turn around and look. Where's my, you know? So I'm like, here it is. It's, you know, JaneDoe.com. Thank you, Jane. So,
I was so surprised that sometimes these people in the public, you know, you're talking to them and they're the marketer and they've got a, you know, you're struggling having a conversation.
oh yeah.
You're like,
Right.
okay, this isn't going to go well on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's how I see everything is, well,
Right.
how can I grab, and are you interesting?
Yes.
Are you witty?
Yes.
I mean, because you're quick wit. You were so funny
Yeah,
at some of
I'm
these
able to-
events. David is too.
Yes.
I'm a deep thinker. I'm not really a quick witter. So I always try to ask really deep questions or go and delve in it, but I can't. When things start to mess up, I kind of go into panic mode.
But that goes, and that's okay. But that goes back to preparation. You know, I will make some notes. You know, because I'll picture myself in that. You know, and I write down, take a picture. You know,
Okay.
so I'll take my picture, and then maybe I'll have written in a couple, not necessarily jokes, as I wouldn't joke tell, but if this looks like an opportunity to
Bring up a story.
to bring a story, I'll make a note on that. You know,
Okay.
there is some spontaneity, but some of it is because I've prepared and I think about the audience. And
I always think I'm well prepared. I do the questions which you
Yes.
received, and then I try. Well,
Yes.
I know
Yeah.
most of the guests that I bring on already, kind of personally, or I research them. I look on YouTube. We're going to talk about that because I have seen
That's
you on
important.
YouTube. But I do my best that way. How much research do you do on? You know, YMCA, did you just look at the notes before you walked in the door, or what?
No. I mean, doing this for 17 years, you know, 6 to 8 interviews a day, 5 days a week, 17 years, you have finally developed some of the confidence where I don't have to write out my open. I used to have to write out,
Oh, my
good morning,
gosh.
I'm Shelley Irwin, welcome to the morning show. It's a great, you know,
Right,
obviously
right.
I don't do that anymore. But it's rare that I write out questions anymore either. But I always have to have, I'll ask if you have questions. I won't send my questions to my guests, usually.
Well, I just want to be safe on these.
No,
am
that's
I going
good.
in the right Am I
Yes,
going the right
yes.
direction? Because maybe you
I
don't
have
want me to
time.
go that way,
Oh, I don't
right?
have time to, you know, I
Right.
mean, you've got a super gal that, but, and every book and author will have a press, you know,
Okay.
and they'll, you know, suggested questions, I may go there.
Okay.
Obviously, if there's an event coming up, there's the open. Who are you? What are you all about? Let's talk about the event. Oh, it's 7:30 this Saturday night. Tell me about it. Close my mouth. And then, what do you get out of this? So there is somewhat of a flow. and then wrap it up.
Wow, that's good.
So
You're very
one
good.
does not need to. Now, because I have Megan's help, Megan, can you give me background on Charlotte's new book that she just wrote? You know, here's her name, you know. But I can pull it up on the web and look at
see
it
it,
ongoing.
kind of do that.
So,
Yeah.
and again, the oh my gosh, I'm on radio, I'm scared to death, what am I going to do now? That is somewhat gone away.
So you don't get as nervous. You don't have any of that.
No.
You've been doing it for a while.
I
yeah.
have, but it is still a program. It is still theater. It is still, the curtain goes up at 9. I'm doing my thing, and then 11 o'clock we come down, although usually there's another interview at 11. So I take it is a show from 9 to 11. I rarely leave the office. You know, I'm usually sitting there for 2 hours.
Right. We walked in. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
and you had your little notes and you were
I had
ready to
little
go.
notes and ready to
It looked
go.
like you knew
And I'm
the
in
heck.
there at 5:45 in the morning for a
no.
9 o'clock show.
You are?
Yes.
Wow.
So
I know I
there's-
do a lot of my work at home. My office is at home.
3 dogs
so.
and a foster failed cat. You don't work at home too much, except I'll sit on the sofa lately. But most of my Shelley hyper time is between 6 to 8 in the morning.
What would you tell somebody? You're on the campus. You probably do speeches. What would you tell the broadcasting or communicate? What do they call it now? Broadcasting, communication. What do they have the degree on? What would you tell them today?
Multi-platform journalism.
Yeah. What advice would you give these
Yep.
new ones?
How
coming
bad
up?
do you want it? If you want it, then you better go for it. You know,
Okay.
you have to want that profession. You have to want, because I still believe you have to pay your dues. You're not going to graduate and get a talk show for 2 hours on NPR.
Right.
So how bad do you want it? Study where you want to be 10 years from now.
Okay.
You know, if you want to be a Shelley Irwin, or, you know, in my world it was, you know, Barbara Walters.
Right.
You know, how did she get to where she
Oprah.
got? Oprah, you know. Well, Oprah wanted, you know, I've interviewed her biographer. Oprah wanted where she got.
Right.
And that's a positive. She wanted to be the queen of talk.
Exactly.
And she made that happen. It sounded like she paid her dues.
Uh-huh.
She was a, you know, news anchor, and you know, stood out in the middle, I'm sure, of the weather changes. So I don't think it was handed all to her on a plate, obviously. But I guess back to your question, if you really want it, then you have to stay the course and pay your dues. I poured a lot of coffee in that host's cup when I was 39 years old.
Yeah. So what do you still love being
Yes.
in the morning show?
Yes.
You still? I mean, I'm
can't
not that
wait.
you don't, but I mean that's
I wish
something-
it was Monday.
Yeah, I wish it was Monday
No.
to start out.
I know, I do. Obviously, I don't want to be Pollyanna. There have been some, you know, am I still going to be around on Monday morning? Okay, I think I will. You know, I mean, I work for a company.
Right.
So
They have that one.
oftentimes you know, is this really who we need? So, but I seem to find something new, or find another interview or another community opportunity to say, I'm going to stick with it. And then you can't beat a positive affirmation. You can't beat
You're
somebody.
perfect at it. I learned a lot from you and watching you. Before we wrap this up, we're going to talk about something I think every public speaker would love to do, a TED Talk. You did a TED Talk. I
Done a
saw that in
TED Talk.
2011, right?
Yeah,
And let's talk about that because we
my
can just bring it
gosh.
back.
like to do another one.
So how did
you
that
know?
all go about? Because
Yep.
that's something I know. You know, Michelle Steffes, she so wants to do a TED Talk.
Yes.
There's so many people that do.
I'm very lucky, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I work reactively. I get a lot of requests. So Sonia Carmichael, who I know does some work in the area, I think mostly her home is Kent College of Art and Design. She does some public speaking, teaching those students, public teaching. She reached out to me. We're considering you for TEDx Macatawa. And I'm like, sure. First, you never say, I don't want to say never say no, because be careful.
Were you nervous?
Yes.
Because TED Talks are forever.
Well, I'll take a half a step back. Of course I was. And I'm not sure what I was. First of all, I'm like, well, do I talk about Shelley, or do I talk about
The show or what?
And
Yeah.
they were, and I knew it was going to be 8 to 20 minutes without a podium. I'm a podium girl. Put me on the podium with my notes, and we knew that there wasn't going to be, and I wasn't even used to a PowerPoint. So to cut to the chase, they actually helped you. So they had a dress rehearsal a couple weeks before, and they literally said, no, this is not about Shelley. So don't talk about your awards and your day show. Don't you tell stories for a living? I'm like, well, sort of. So we changed it to telling your story, and they said, get up there and tell some stories and why we should. Bottom line, I want to know why I should tell my story when you're finished. So I told 2 or 3 stories as an open.
Yeah, you did well, yeah.
Woulda, coulda. I paced like a lion, but it was a little bit out of my comfort
Was it the
zone.
timer right in front of you?
Yes.
Because I was watching you walk around and I go, what is that? That's probably got to be the
Yes,
timer.
it was, yeah.
And you had to stay on
I had to
task on
stay
that
on
at
task
time.
because there was somebody following me. Again, looking back, woulda, coulda, maybe. That was, 2011? So
2011, yeah.
That was 8 years ago.
I know, but it's not.
So
but
now, like, if I did it, I would have even more confidence where I might not have to pace like a lion across. Anyway.
How do we bring TED Talk? If anybody has an event, look it up on YouTube. Usually on college campuses.
There just was one on Grand Valley's.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't get a notice on that.
Yep. And there has been a TEDx Grand Rapids. It was actually canceled for this year.
Okay.
TMI, but yes. So there has been a TEDx Grand Rapids. There's a TEDx Macatawa that just happened a 3 weeks ago too. So there's TEDx Lansing. Basically, find out where the TEDx's is, and they do.
Is it only on the campuses they announce this? Because I didn't.
No.
I'm a big TED Talk
fan.
I didn't get a notice.
And they ask for application. You had to fill out an application. So I applied for TEDx Lansing and didn't get that.
Okay.
And that was probably 2 years ago. So I would do your diligence. Google all the TEDx's and find out when they are, and then applications.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I thought I'd not known that, and I just popped in yours, and I saw you were on TEDx. I'm like, got to talk about that, baby.
Yeah, and it was the red carpet, and it was full. It was full of people. So
what would I know you're into running real quickly.
Yes.
What would you like people to know mostly about you?
Maybe that I just do it.
Okay.
I do say yes a lot.
Uh-huh.
Every yes that I say yes to is some opportunity.
Okay.
The good, the bad, hasn't been a lot of ugly. You'll learn from something that maybe doesn't work out. Running is my mental health.
Yeah, I see that. She does a lot of running.
A lot of running, going to Spain.
10Ks and 5Ks, she travels?
Half marathons and long distance triathlon, 70 half Ironmans. I've got 2 this year. So,
Yeah.
but that's my how do you relax? Well, get out of my way so that I can go run.
Okay.
So that's also helps me, and it also allows me to eat pizza.
Pizza. That is true.
Yes.
That is true. And then you have the love for animals. You have a
I do.
couple dogs,
Well,
2,
I have,
3?
I have 3 dogs and a foster field cat that sleeps on my head.
And so where do you, anything new coming up for yourself? You're out there?
I'm out there. I just, again, I'm going to work more on the vlog.
Okay. Very
Whether
good.
or not.
Can they invite you to come to if you need places to go?
Yes.
Can they reach
Yes.
out to you?
Yes,
Okay,
they can
that's
reach
good.
out to me.
Okay.
What do I do with running? Maybe there's another podcast where it's Shelley on the Run.
Yes.
Perfect. Let me tell your story of your running. Some of that's being done, but how else can I do that in a different type of form?
Right, pulling in a different type of audience, which brings
Yes.
them to your show, which is another. You know what I'm saying?
It does
That's,
come. It
that's
does come,
how it is.
Come full circle, doesn't it? Yeah.
All right. Well, I think did I ask all your questions I needed
think
to ask?
so.
Her?
I think so,
We went
yeah.
through all of this.
Yeah.
And,
Morning
what have you
person,
learned
night
most? Real quickly,
Oh.
in case we'll use this for wrap up. So
Yes.
what have you learned the most? I mean, is there anything that really surprises you still?
I guess just that this has come fairly naturally. Again, my dream when I first started this was to not necessarily even be a talk show host. I thought I'd be a news anchor.
Right.
I thought I would, be a reporter out in the field, and then move up to a news anchor behind the desk. But this morphed, and also I thought it would be all television. I didn't realize that I would do the radio thing,
Right.
which is kind of cool. And again, I'm blessed to have Family Health Matters, Community Connection, Kalamazoo Lively Arts as my TV side too, which is all over the map.
Okay.
So the bright lights are great. But I guess the surprise is how this radio life has, has come to be, and that I guess I've kind of fallen in love with that.
And there are people knowing your voice, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, is that kind of, you know, that's Shelley Irwin,
I do
right?
have a distinctive voice.
Which is good.
Which is, yeah, good. It's
Yeah.
not faked, you know.
And then the MC, so you are, anybody would need an MC for their event, you
yay.
get a hold of you?
Yes.
She does a very good job, I will tell you, done there. And then I think I've got all my questions answered, dear, but you will come back.
I will.
Any advice you would give me now that we started? This is my second season.
Wow.
Not to the extent of you, but I'm
You've
hoping
got-
to go
you've got
throughout the
16
summer.
more years to catch up.
Well, you know what I mean,
15,
but
yeah.
my season being probably go through the summer, take off a couple months, and then start again. But now that I'm inviting people, any advice you can give me?
I mean, it's hard for me to critique what's just happened. I mean, you've done your research, you've prepared your host, you've presented a glass of water, you've made me feel great.
Okay.
You've looked me in the eye.
That's good.
You know, you've talked about Charlotte.
Charlotte Touche from one's life. My very best friend, almost.
And it's pretty obvious that you like what you do too. So I stay.
Well, I don't lack of enthusiastic. I always tell people I can be pretty enthusiastic, but I always seek what's the gift in you. Everyone has something. So when I like to search for it, I don't know why, and then when I find it, I like to bring it out and tell everyone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I would think some of your gifts is, of course, communication.
Yes.
You've got a great smile.
Thank you.
You're a great networker.
But yeah, I was going to say, and relationships and networking.
And
You want to interview this person? Let me do the hookup with you, etc. Yeah.
Okay, I have a few people I want to interview. I need you to connect with you, okay?
All right, fine.
All right, so
Okay.
we're going to have you back on my show, but I
Oh, goody.
appreciate you coming here. It's such an honor.
Thanks.
And I love watching you, and I look forward to when I go to these events, looking down and seeing if
Yep.
you're the MC.
We've got a few lined up.
Exactly. So if you have any event coming up, get a hold of Shelley. If you would like her to come and vlog, is that what you want to call it? Vlog. Vlog.
B-L-O-G. That's a real name.
Vlog. I know it. I got to get used to
Right?
it now.
I-
It's kind of
well,
a new
I'm
word,
still
right?
learning to vlog, yeah.
To your
Yes.
event or your location,
Right.
give her a call and
Yes.
anything else that you would be available for.
I think that's
If you
about
have a great
it.
guest that for Shelley to interview,
Yes.
please let her know, right?
Yes, right.
She does 8 of them a day, right?
Right. That is
All
kind of
right.
scary.
Well, thank you so much, and we will
welcome.
have you back on our show.
Okay.
So we shake your
Tomorrow?
hand. So this
Thank
is
you, Rockstar.
Pamela Keim from Grand Tap Media, and we will see you next time on Breathe in the Grand Show. Take care, everyone. Bye.